Hello sisters and misters, welcome back to another episode of Emergency Broadcast, the show with hot questions, and I did that last episode. The show about running out of ideas. No, Emergency Broadcast is the show where I rant about something completely random, which if you read the title and thumbnail, which I hope so, you clicked on this video, you can probably guess what this one's about. Today's episode is about reading the news in bed and wondering why you struggle to sleep. I think that tells you a lot about what this video is going to be like and the tone that this video is going to be in. As a trans woman, it feels very much like I am at the eye of the storm a lot of the time. Not me, specifically, obviously. This just in, micro YouTuber Penny arrested for balling too fucking hard. Or something, I don't know, making mediocre content. But with the Supreme Court ruling from this past month, the sports bans that the FA are now using, the new data laws that the UK have proposed, which luckily is from an opposition party, so the likelihood of it getting approved is low, especially considering they tried to get it approved before and it was rejected by the European Court of Human Rights, so they're trying it again for some reason. And also finally J.K. Rowling, just as a person. There is a lot going on in and to the trans community every single day, and it's incredibly overwhelming. And this started to get to me. I have obviously pivoted the content on this channel a little bit, focused towards more trans content, because I am a trans woman. I can talk a lot about that experience because, you know, it's something very personal to me. It's something that I live through every single day. So of course I've got a lot to say about it. And with that in mind, I do like to keep up to date on what's going on within the trans community. And it's been overwhelming, and to be honest, that has been getting to me. I understand right now trans people are a focus of discussion. It seems every decade there is a specific group that becomes the focus group of that decade that political candidates go after as a way to spread their messaging, because, you know, the UK economy is terrible and it's only gotten worse after COVID. We have an absolutely terrible housing crisis. The NHS is on its knees and being hit with more and more budget cuts every single year. And our infrastructure just generally isn't great. But no, trans people are the biggest problem here. And yes, while we are very handily used as a distraction from the actual real important issues going on, that puts a lot of pressure on us and it's incredibly overwhelming. But what I've realised is that it's supposed to be. To explain what I mean by it's supposed to be, the more these people can throw at us and overwhelm us, the more they can, you know, get past us as we slowly and very naturally weaken from the constant barrage that we're having to face. And while I know this, it's not easy to deal with. The things going on may affect me in the near or far future, and because of that there feels an obligation to be tapped in. But when tapped in means seeing daily legislation and rights changes that are taking place with us, it's exhausting. And I think my prevailing question at this point is, at what point is awareness too detrimental? On one hand, I don't think any of us want to be ostriches with their head in the sand as their rights are slowly eroded with every passing month of 2025, but when do you prioritise yourself? Just to put into context how overwhelming this is, since the start of this year in the UK and America, this is what's happened. Right now there should be a list of stuff scrolling on the screen like a Star Wars intro. That's a lot to happen in 5 months, and there's likely more that's going to happen after the release of this video. But there is good news. There is good news. The good news is that we are accepted in the glorious establishment of Wetherspoons, which if you're in the UK, make sure to buy a £3 pint to celebrate. No, but seriously, it's draining. It's really draining. And I don't blame anyone for wanting to turn a blind eye to it, because to be honest, I was nearing that point for a really, really long time. But there's things we can do. There are leaders in our community and that there is people at the forefront. I'll put people on the screen now that I think are people that we should, you know, rally behind and have good messages and are speaking to important people. There are people doing that, such as the former judge, I believe she was, I'm sorry if that's incorrect, who is now taking the UK to the European courts over the Supreme Court ruling that we made here. Good stuff is happening. It's just a shame that, you know, we're having to band together to fight against a problem that realistically shouldn't be a problem in the first place. I think it's easy to feel an obligation to be at the forefront, and what I mean by that is that when you see people, you know, sharing these political messages, protesting and doing things like that for their community, it's very easy to be like, I should be getting involved. But not everyone, people have different areas of specialty, people have different areas of capabilities. Not everyone has the technical knowledge or skill to debate people on, you know, things that shouldn't be debated, let's be honest. But our conversation for some reason. Some people are more focused towards entertaining or promoting visibility, and I think this mentality is a much more healthier one. As much as I make trans content, and I'm very happy to do so, especially at the place where I am currently, I don't think I'm anyone to like lead or be a spokesperson for the trans community. So I wouldn't really want to take up that mantle. I would rather just be a trans woman who talks about trans and makes funny little edits that you watch on your phone. And through that way, if I can spread visibility of trans people, and, you know, if a cis person sees me and they end up liking me and then find out I'm trans and become fonder of trans people because of that, then that's my addition to the community. But there are resources and there are people leading the conversation, and I think those people definitely deserve some attention. And we should rally around those, but we don't all have to be those, because that is a lot of pressure. Look, we're currently in the worst state of it's so over that it has been since, I don't know, like the 80s, I want to say. The arguments that we're getting hit with are the same arguments that gay men used to be hit with in the 70s and 80s. So we have regressed, it seems, quite a bit. But maybe, just maybe, we're so back just around the corner. And I believe that there is. For our sake, I believe that it is. I think in the face of what we're experiencing right now, the only way to respond to it properly is with radical self-acceptance. And what I mean by that is, when you're being told that what you are is something that, you know, shouldn't exist or shouldn't be seen publicly or whatever, you know, these arguments that get thrown at us, I think the only response that could keep you mentally sane is to do it anyway. Be yourself anyway. Because if you don't, and if you give in to those messages and you know, shelter yourself and you cage yourself in order to be digestible for these people that truly don't think you should exist in the first place, then that's a very, very sad life. And I don't think that's a life any of us want to live. I saw the TV glow. Yeah, we all know what led us here in the first place. And with what's going on, it would be a shame if we went back. So, thank you for listening. Thank you if you stick around and you're a subscriber of this channel. My name is Penny. Pull over if you get tired. Call me back. Trans rights forever. Bye.